Hey guys, welcome to the next episode in this series, and I'm super excited today because, as you guys probably noticed already, I have a new microphone. Oh my god. Um, Hopefully my voice sounds a lot more authentic and I won't have to use some random post-processing methods to, filter out the background noise too much. So yeah, you should be able to hear me quite well, hopefully. So, today what I wanted to do was to add a card history over here or over here. Doesn't really matter where it is, but pretty much it's going to say, for example, CITC across arrow riot across arrow fresh arrow to show the order or the progression of each card. So there are 3 cards in this game right now. Let's see which 3 cards they are. There is the Lady of the Lake, Ref of the Rain, and Sire of the Sea. For this episode, we'll just implement Lady of the Lake, because the other 2 cards are the exact same, except they are extra work. Just copy paste. So let's just start our server. As always, mongard first to start the server, nodemon to start that, and this is going to be for git adding and git committing. Let's open up our VS Code, and let's just check which branch we are in. We are in the master branch. Okay. So, first things first, we need to be sending the data over to the client side. So this would be under gameplay. Let's close the rest of this. Okay, gameplay. Avalon is going to be under cards and Lady of the Lake. Now the Lady of the Lake will have a variable called Lady History. So let's just try and pass that. I don't remember if this was the indexes or the usernames. So we'll see in a bit. It's the indexes right there. We can see that there. That's fine. We will convert that over later. Or do we want to convert it here? We actually have this. Lady history of usernames. Let's just send that over. So over here, we're going to have history as a new variable that we're sending, and we're going to pass this.lady history usernames. So first of all, let's actually go back into a test game and let's see what kind of data that is. So let's just make sure, to understand what we're working with. Do I need bots? No. Oh, sorry, a second account. I'll just make bots. So let's open up Lady of the Lake. Let's mad bots 4. And let's start that. So let's open up our developer console, Control-Shift-I or F12, or more settings, more tools, and developer options here, or developer tools. And now let's go game data. We should see everything that's being sent to us, and let's go into public data. I think there we go. Public data, cards, lady, and here is our history object. So the first one's going to be bot2. Okay. Let's just play a couple missions and get it to be passed around a bit. Hopefully the game lasts a bit instead of hammer rejecting. Okay, good. Okay, so we're a bit unlucky. Succeeded all 3 missions, but the card did get passed to me, so let's just do public data.cards and let's just see what cards we have. So, lady, in history, we have an array of usernames. So pretty much we can just print out bot2 and pronub into the vote history area. So now what we need to do next is, now I'm not going to close this tab because it has the game data saved, and if I restart the server, the game should still be here because, we're not finishing the game. What we're going to do is we're going to go into the assets, going to go to the script. So this is now the client side, and let's check lobby 9 first, and let's try vote history. Draw vote history, perfect. So whenever the history is drawn, the vote history is drawn, we'll also draw in the text history. So let's see. So here we're setting the vote table class. So we're giving the strings into each one. So we need to add in a new table first, and this will be under views. This is the HTML bit, lobby, and let's search for vote history class. I think I called it vote history table class. Okay, so here's our table. We have a break, we have a dot pointy thing, and we have another table. So this is the legend. Pretty sure that's the legend. Yeah. So the first one's leader on team mission, leader, and then on team mission. Yep. So we'll have this above that actually. So let's BR here, and let's just put some sample text. This is what I'm imagining in my head. Bots 2, and maybe bot. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's save that. Let's refresh this and let's take a look. The game is frozen. Is this the right game? No, this is the one we want. Okay, that looks okay. We do want another break there so that it's evenly spaced, and we probably do want to say Lady of the Lake chain or something. Lady of the Lake history. Let's do that now. So one more break here, and then we'll have Lady of the Lake. Let's just say H5, a relatively small one. Actually, let's do this, and we will say card history. Lady of the Lake, pronub, there. Okay, let's save this and refresh. Let's check it out again. I sort of want that to be together, and let's actually bold this as well. So, pretty sure bold is EM. I don't quite remember. Let's check that. Oh, no, that made it italics. Is it B? We can actually check here. If I select it, I can change what's here. So let's change that to B. Did that work? Yeah, it's okay, so it's B. And we'll also make it underlined as well, which is U, I think. We can easily change this later to be a more graphical interface like CITC suggested actually in his issue here. Awesome guy. He makes a lot of the graphics for this site actually. He suggested something like these. So we can make the tables later, but I just want something very simple for now, just for the functionality. Maybe someone else, or maybe, you know, the person watching this, you, could get around to that. It's pretty much just copy pasting what I have for the vote history table and inserting it in. But I don't want this video to get too long, so let's just do this first. So I've changed it to bold, I've changed it to underline. Let's check this again. And perfect. Now what I want to do is I want to skip that little gap there. And the reason the gap is there is because this is a block because of the H5. So if I go display, let's say inline block, no, block, it makes it a block. Actually, I wonder if it's because of this padding. Oh, there's a margin. No, my bad. So if we take the margin off to 0, there we go. So margin 0 will set that for us. So inside here, we are just going to add style equals 2 because we can hardcode this. You know, we don't really need to change this. Margin 0. Is that right? That should be right. Let's check it. Refresh, open it up. Perfect, that's exactly what we need. Now let's actually also make this a bit emphasized. So let's italics this. So we can EM this. Now actually, I can't hardcode this chunk of text here because we only want to show it if there's a Lady of the Lake. But we'll just have that there temporarily for now. And then it also goes for this card history then as well. Okay, that's a bit of a problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a span here. Just like how we have a table body here and we're inserting the vote history data as you know, the string into this chunk here. We'll similarly have a span here. We'll give it ID equals to... Oh, 1 second. We actually need 2 of these because we have 2 tabs sometimes. Right. That was the whole purpose. Right, so we have 2 of these and we also needed to show on the other side. That was the purpose of making it a class instead of an ID. So we'll scrap the ID, we'll just go back to class. And let's call it vote, oh no, card history class. Okay, let's just do that. The stuff will be into there. And yeah, so we can leave this here for now. Sorry, wrong one, game in progress. Vote history, okay, cool. Now, we need to add this into the other one as well. So let's cut this out and let's put it over here for now. Into the client side because we're going to need that. We'll comment this out. And then over here, what we're going to need is we're going to copy this and put it into the same place. So let's just find this again. There should be 2 of them. So here's the second one. And does that work? Let's just do a test. Or we can actually just copy this back in to make sure that we see what we want to see. Let's go back up to the other one. Let's add this into here. Yep. Okay, let's see. refresh. Let's go in. Vote history, yes. Vote history, yes. Perfect. Now we can reference these two by the class. So let's take that out. Let's take this one out. We're back here. Okay, cool. So now this will do the vote history. Let's get rid of some of these. I've not seen this code in a while, so we can get rid of them. We don't need them. Now, okay, so this is the vote history. Note this function will also draw the card history too. Okay. Now at the very bottom here, we're going to have card history. And so let's have a var string is equal to blank. Well, the first string is going to have to include this bit here, so we can just chuck that straight in. Let's double quote this one. Okay. Now, let's go back to our game data. Game data.public data.cards. Inside the lady with lady, we have the history. Okay, so we need to go. If for anything inside the cards, that includes lady, sire, or ref, and if it has a history array, then write out lady, and write out, just write out the things. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to should I hard code this? No, I feel like I shouldn't hard code this. Pretty much, this text here, Lady of the Lake, is not actually being directly passed over just yet. So what I'm going to do is, inside the card here, we're also going to go name is equal to, and this is going to be the name to print. That way we have a copy on the client side. Okay, so back to lobby 9 here. Now we're going to say for var, let's do use of for each. It'll be simpler. So is game data in this? Is game data being passed through? So data is being passed through. Where is this being called? Because I need to pass in the public data, the cards data, right? So draw vote history, where is this being called? This is probably in the game. Draw vote history. Game data. Game data is data. Okay, so we're passing in the whole thing. That's fine. So this data incoming is going to be the whole thing. So we will have data.game or dot public data. So data.public data dot what? Dot cards dot for each. So function C for card, because if I do card, it might be confusing with cards. So I'll just do C. If C dot history does not equal to undefined, so in other words, if it exists, then what do we want to do? We also want to check if the name exists, just for safety measure, because we're also relying on it here. Then, if neither of them are undefined, so we have both of them, the string is going to start with Lady of the Lake, this bit here. String plus equals to. Let's add that in. Let's add a space here. Now here's where we add the for. So now we can go c dot history dot for each function. This is going to be username. We're going to go string plus equals to. Let's just do username. Username, the actual variable itself, plus by the across arrow, plus by a space. Let's do that for now. And we're going to have to remove the last one. So at the moment it's going to look like this, right? We'll remove that in just a moment. But for now, I just want to see if this works. So what did I do here? I copied it into both of the table classes. So what did I call it here? I called it card history class. Let's chuck that into there, chuck that into there. In HTML, yep, equals to the string. We've recalled the string, so the string should be different to the one above. Okay, let's try this out. So refresh this. My server's not up. Okay, there we go. Frozen. Okay, something's wrong. Dot for each is not a function. Okay. So cards may actually be an object, so we may not be able to do that. So data.public game data.public data.cards. Okay, it's an object. So it's an object with lady as the key and the object as a variable. So as the value, sorry. So where was the line? 1368. So this one. So instead of using a for each, we need to have a function that runs through each object key. So this looks like this: for var key in data.public data.cards. If data.public data.cards has own property of key, then we do something. This is checking if it's true. Is that right? Let's just console.log key. It's pretty much what it's doing is, for every single property or variable inside cards, if the cards has its own property, so if this property is unique to this cards variable alone. So cards is a object. Object has, for example, object.splice, object.clone. It has a whole bunch of other properties. This has own property checks whether this key that we give it is unique to it. So it didn't inherit it from anywhere. It's something that we directly gave the cards. So in this case, for example, lady, sire, and ref is going to be assigned to it by itself. So it's unique to this cards variable. Whereas cards.splice is going to be, its own inherited object or property. So that's what this line does. And so if it is true, then it's going to be a key that we need to use. So let's comment that out. And so we're console logging it right now. And let's see if we see the correct thing. So we should only see a single lady. Perfect. So we can see lady. Now we can probably copy a bit of this. So okay, var c is equal to pub data public.cards, and we'll give it the key. And now we can use the rest of this. Okay. Now let's try run this. That should work, hopefully. No error message so far, that's good. Vote history, exactly, perfect. So it started from bot 2 and then went to me, and it's also in our second tab as well. Perfect. Now let's just make sure in dark theme that it actually turns to grey, and it does. So we're pretty much done. The last thing we need to do is to remove this last little arrow thing. So pretty much what we need to do is we need to remove 1, 2, 3, 4 characters off the very end of the string. The only time we won't, no. So whenever we have one of these things to print out, we'll always have at least one person it started with. So we'll always have at least one arrow, so we can always take off, take off one of these. Instead of Lady of the Lake, sorry, this should actually be the name that we gave it. So this should be c.name instead of Lady of the Lake. Let's just make sure that goes through correctly, and as that loads, let's actually remove this last 4 bits. Nah, let's just wait for this first. Frozen, yeah, perfect, so it's the same, exactly. Now, after every single card, we're going to go str is equal to string.splice, or is it .slice? This index to the beginning of the specified portion returns a section of the string. Yep, so we only want a section of it. So we start at 0, and we end at string.length minus by 4. I think that adds up. We'll see if it doesn't. Oh, perfect. And no, we still have a space at the very end there. So let's just make this 5. So now the reason is, so what this does is, it'll grab a portion of the string starting from the very first character all the way to the very last character, but this length, you see, so I'll just give you an example. A, B, B, C, D. So this index is 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what the indexes look like. But str.length, as we see here, is giving 4. So what we need to do is, if we want to get ABC, so, and we don't want D, if we want to get ABC, we need the index up to 2, but str.length is giving 4, so we need to actually minus 2 off. So what we're doing is, if we want C, we're going to go take one off and then take another one off from 4. So 4 is going to then go to 3 when we remove 1 because we want to take off the D, and then because we want the C, which is 1 index away, that now becomes 2. So that's why this is 5. Length just gives 1 bigger than the final index. That's just the reason why. That probably could have been explained better, but hopefully that made sense. So that should work out. Vote history. Oh! Something went wrong. Okay, so we still see spaces there, but B is gone. You know what? I think this extra space we're seeing is actually just a render thing, unique to Google Chrome or something. So let's just move this back to 4. I guess the one before was correct. That or the slice function, you know, makes it different. Oh, I don't know, whatever. As long as it works, you know. Okay. Now what we need to do is we just need to run one more test to make sure that all the cards render correctly. So let's turn all of the cards on. Let's madbots for. Actually, it won't work just yet because, you know what, I'll just do all of them today. I said I was only going to do Lady of the Lake, but let's just do all of them. It should actually just be a copy paste. So Lady of the Lake, and I can literally just copy all this. Ref of the Rain, so because they're all the same, they're all based off the same card. And let's check that in. Okay. That was actually much simpler than I thought it would be to get it for the other ones. That's the beauty of, you know, generalized programming to account for every single case. So Avalon, we have 1, 2, 3. Then we're gonna madbots 4. And let's start this game. Okay, something went wrong. Cannot read properly for each. I thought we had fixed that already. 1377. Ah, there's another for each here. Okay. C.history. Cannot read properly for each of undefined. Draw vote history 1377. 1377. C.history. Game data.public.cards. Let's just do cards for now. I only see 2 of these, so that tells me that it's working fine for Lady, but not for the other ones. Okay. So it looks like we actually don't have history. Lady. Oh, I called it Lady history usernames. Ref history usernames. And Sire history usernames. That should work. Because for each should definitely work with an array, so there's no reason why that shouldn't have worked. And I have to restart this. Madbots 4. We're adding our cards. 1, 2, 3. We'll start this now, and hopefully no error messages. Perfect. Now for our vote history. Ah, crap! We didn't bring it to a new line. So that's a very simple fix. At the end of this for loop, we're gonna slice it out, and let's just add a breakpoint. The only thing is, if we only have one entry, so for example, just one Lady of the Lake, it'll still have a breakpoint after it, but I can easily fix that by removing one of these. You'll see what I mean in a minute. You know, I really should be playing the first move so that the game saves. 2, 3, start, let's go. Vote history, perfect. So if I didn't remove that last BR, then this would have been an extra big gap. And that's because there's actually an extra BR inserted by this code. Yeah, that's just at the end of this. So that's why I removed one out of the lobby.ejs. That looks correct so far. So I start with bot 1, and bot 0. Bot 1, bot 0. Let's pick something and let's see it move around. Okay, so it seems like bot 1 has passed it to pronob, bot 0 has passed it to bot 3, which is correct, I guess. Bot 0 has decided like on bot 3. The thing is, Ref of the Rain didn't trigger. Oh, that's right. This card triggers on fails. Yeah, that's right. Ref of the Rain triggers on fails. Yeah, let's hope this one fails. Nah, it succeeded. But anyways, this should work. I'm going to run another test. Let's just run a test very quickly. Another test game. Ah, this doesn't clear. That doesn't clear in a new game. Good thing I tried to do that. Let's fix that. How long are we going? This is going for 25 minutes. Okay. Did not expect to be that long, but that is a-okay for now. So this is when we press the back button, it should trigger. So this is on. Leave room, leave game, sockets maybe. Where have I put you? Leave room. So there's a function called leave room, but I don't know where that is. Leave room, game leave room. It's not commands, surely. Where could you be? Sockets? Leave room? No, that's what we requested. Options, it won't be under options. Surely not. Okay, is it clear game data? Reset all game data. That's what I've called it, but I don't know where I actually call this. But pretty much this function will run whenever, you know, the back button's pressed. So here's where we are resetting the vote history. Let's do that as well, but for card history class. Oh, sorry. Done. That should do it. So if I refresh here, this is frozen. We'll go in, we'll load it in. Now if we go back and if we create a new one, that should be gone. Perfect. Now let's run one more test. Hopefully get some fails. Madbox4. Start. And let's just play around a bit. Oh, I should have failed that actually. Fail. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay. I pick 2 players. Can I fail? Yes, I can fail. And they've all moved on. So let's just make sure. Lady with Lakers from 2 to 0, from 2 to 0. 2 to 1, 2 to 1 for ref, and 3 to 2. 3 to 2 for Sire. That's perfect. So that should be exactly it. And I don't think that should cause any crash issues. They all ended up at bot 1. Anyways, so hopefully that wraps up for this one. Actually, let's just do the git add, git commit, added, what will we call this, card history text in vote history tab. Actually, before that, let's actually update the log very quickly. I don't want to lose my command, so I'll just paste it here for now. Today is the 18th still. So I'm going to just go do this. Added card history text. See this under vote history tab. And I can take that back out. Take that out. Save. Git add dot. Save that, git commit, and git push origin master. Cool. Now on the next server load, whenever I promote it up, it will be live. Hopefully. There we go. Okay, it's processing now. Awesome. So that wraps up for this video. If you have any questions, let me know. See you.